please download it, use it, our free gift to you. A lot of work's gone into creating that gap analysis in measuring providers, I guess, their current standard versus what standard they need to come up to against the new SIL practice standards. It talks on a lot of governance, risk, core policies, SIL modules, workforce participant, etc. Fill it out and talk with your executive management team about it. And you can even fill it out and book a meeting with one of our consultants, and we can give you a bit of advice, free advice on where we think you should go with it. You can also do it instantly on billy.com.au under the Start Free Readiness Check. So we'll talk about what Billy and Jeannie is in a little while. That's our software. We own that software, and we've got a couple of different avenues for providers, which we'll talk about when we get to the options later on. That gap analysis is built into here for you and gives you a real-time score on what you need to do. So I just spoke about the gap analysis. Build your documents and systems. So this is where most providers have the biggest gap and where most of the non-conformities come from. So providers often roll into their audit and they've purchased a policy suite from XYZ Consulting, and XYZ Consulting didn't give the provider the templates to match the module, or they still have the last business branded in the document suite. A lot of simple things like this do happen, and because that happens, non-conformities come up, and some auditors are sometimes lenient and let you fix it and continue the audit, where some might make you rebook and repay. So you need to have the SIL-specific document layer. These are really important things you must have in order to get the registration. So you need to have your SIL policies that are aligned to the 4 new standards. You need to have participant, worker, and house file templates that also align to the new standards. You need to have supported decision-making and safeguarding tools, so menu planning, shopping lists that are in easy read view, rostering processes that the participants are participating in, interview processes. So I worked for a large organization a long time ago, and I went to work at a SIL as a support worker. And in that organization, you could just bounce around the houses, and there was like 150 houses in the organization back then. So it was easy to get shifts, and, in lots of places. And I turned up to work at this place, and at the kitchen table were another support worker, the team leader, and the participant living in the house. And the participant interviewed me. I thought it was the greatest thing ever, that this guy was literally choosing who's working in his house. It was absolutely amazing. So things like that, implementing things like that to give that person the absolute full choice and decision-making controls over their life. Registers, checklists, and audit evidence tools. So are you doing mock audits on your organization? Are you having your properties complete a WHS checklist once a month? Are you having your fire extinguishers serviced when they're due to be serviced? Do you have a first aid kit? When was the last time the first aid kit was checked? All of these things, the auditor will ask you. So having all of that in place is really important. And having accessible format versions or easy read versions of all your key documents for participants, stakeholders, friends, family, etc. to read. Agreements and conflict of interest. So you need to have a separate service agreement and a separate tenancy agreement. Once again, they can't counteract each other. They must be standalone documents. A service agreement covering the 6 tenancy matters. Conflict of interest policy for the SIL versus tenancy dual role. And your documents all need to be controlled with version and review dates. So ready to go documents, not a blank page. I said at the start, we'll talk about some of the things we've got available. So if you've got a policy suite in place and you've been using those policies and you're happy with them, we can give you everything today for $1,000. You can buy everything if you've already got your core documents. This just simply aligns everything you need to be compliant to the SIL practice standards. If you've got nothing, maybe you've got a couple of different policies in place. Maybe the policies are 3 or 4 years old. We can give you everything you need to be compliant with core module and SIL module and module 2 and 2A for $3,500.